here. Who?
From the Zip Cave in Huntington, West Virginia.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, music, wrestling.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
Welcome to the GeekZip podcast.
We are tonight's entertainment.
It's a GeekZip podcast. Ryan Zip with Christian, and it is a big, big week, people. We all know what happened this week. We're going to get into it and a lot more. Christian, how you doing this week?
Doing good.
Do anything this week or watch anything new? Are you still watching Peacemaker? Oh, you said you watched that already, right?
I finished up, but I forgot to mention last week a few good shows.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
Yellow Jackets and that last new season of Dexter.
What's Yellow Jackets?
It's a show. It's probably one of the most bingeable shows there is out there right now. It's on its first season. It's finished.
What's it on?
It's Showtime. They both are on Showtime. It's worth buying it for a month.
That's one thing I don't have is Showtime. I have Stars. I have HBO.
It's got Christina Ricci and Juliette Lewis.
I love Christina.
They're high school soccer girls whose plane crashed in like the wilderness, and they resort to like primitive cannibalism.
So it's like a Lord of the Flies thing.
It's kind of, yeah.
Kinda.
And you're just watching the whole time going like, how do they get from this to this? And then there's all kinds of craziness going on too, dude. I'm on the message boards. Yeah. It's like Lost with theories about stuff that's going on and everything. Like,
boy, I miss Lost and the theories. Those were fun to go through. I watched Lost after the fact, like after it finished or whatever.
And like Game of Thrones even. We don't mention it.
We don't mention Game of Thrones. Let's see. What did I didn't watch anything, but I am reading some books. Shout out to John, Purple Earth, my man. Always hooks me up. There's a new Batman title, one of 6 short series. It's called Killing Time. And I read that last night, and that's really good. It actually is almost like a prequel to what the story will be. And the villains that I saw in it include Penguin, Riddler, Bane, Catwoman. So it's really good. You should read this if you get a chance. It's good stuff. Also got our Marvel preview book for comics for stuff coming out this summer. Of course, I mentioned last week we were reading Ghost Rider. That was incredible. Loved it. But there's a few other things I'm looking forward to as well. I'm sure you didn't pick this up, Christian.
No, I was kind of looking into some of the X-Men mutant stuff, though. That's going crazy.
X-Men's going nuts, yeah. My friend Knotts, he's been on the show before. He was asking me about the Marvel Universe, and I tell you, it's hard for me to keep up anymore, honestly. It's so crazy, especially the X-Men. So, anywho, let's get into the show. We got a lot to get to today, so we're going to start off with a little Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Did you see the trailer that everybody's talking about?
Is there a new one?
There's a newer one,
the Super Bowl,
like with Patrick Stewart's voice. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, so you saw that one. So you know what that is, right?
Yeah,
that's the Illuminati,
or their take on it.
What does that mean? What are you thinking?
I don't think it's going to have Namor. Isn't he part of it in the
Namor?
comics?
He is. I mean, they could introduce him. Why not?
I just don't see it happening.
No Namor?
Not in this episode.
Maybe we'll have to see, but. Patrick Stewart has confirmed that it's his voice that you hear in the trailer. With Marvel, you never know if they're telling us the truth or not. So, but he has confirmed it, and that means the X-Men are definitely going to be introduced into the MCU.
Or it could be the Star Trek people.
Like Picard?
Yeah, the next generation.
We're like stumbling over plots now in different shows.
Well, I mean, the X-Men went to space.
That's true. And look what happened to that.
That's where the animated series is going to go. They rebooted that.
I'm so excited for that. When does that happen? When's that? Do you know when that drops?
I'm not sure.
I'm going to have to look into that because I really can't wait to watch that again. I love that series. Okay, so the Illuminati, for those that don't know, is pretty much the most powerful people on the planet, in the galaxy even. When I read it, and I'm going to try and remember who all was in the Illuminati, it was Iron Man, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, Namor, Professor X. That might be it. There were very few of them. There's only 5 or 6. There were books that were written. I didn't read any of those, but I did read some of it in because the Illuminati first presents themselves at the beginning of Civil War.
So and in the trailer there was the droids,
the droids,
the Ultrons, Ultrons carrying them. So Ultrons, that means, like you're saying, there's a multiverse version of Tony Stark or Reed Richards in there.
Well, I'll tell you, you got to get the X-Men introduced because they're probably going to build your storylines for the next couple years. I mean, you could do so many X-Men stories, it's ridiculous.
That's what we said when the big three were ending.
That's true. Very true. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Of course, our main subject is the review of The Batman. I could tell you the trailer of the film that I saw. There was a new Doctor Strange trailer on there. Not much new stuff, but it's going to be really good. I'm worried, though. I'm worried if people will get it. That's my worry. There's a lot of magic, a lot of spells, a lot of stuff like that, and sometimes that can turn people off. What do you think?
Does it still kind of have horror stuff, too?
Well, I would assume if it's Sam Raimi directing, I would assume there's some kind of horror element. I mean, we saw the evil Doctor Strange. He looked pretty freaky. But, I mean, again, you got to be careful because this is kids stuff. I mean, it's not an Evil Dead crowd. It's a Spider-Man crowd.
Well, I mean, you saw how well that new X-Men movie did or whatever.
Well, yeah, exactly. So if you make it too dark, then it just seems like DC Universe, and it's not as fun. But anyway, totally Patrick Stewart means we're getting the Illuminati, and as Christian said, one way or another, maybe not comic book accurate, but we'll just have to wait and see. Next up, Craven the Hunter is moving forward from Sony with all the success of Venom. Craven the Hunter is going to be made, and it will star Aaron Taylor Johnson. If you don't know who he is, he's kick-ass.
Who is he?
He's kick-ass, and he's also Quicksilver in the Avengers movies, not the X-Men movies. So, for those that may not know...
That's that same guy?
Yeah, same guy, yeah. For those that don't know, Craven the Hunter was a Spider-Man villain, which, if you watch the cartoon... I'm not sure
if he needs his own movie.
Well, I wasn't sure if Morbius needed his own movie, but apparently he does.
I'd say he does more than Craven the Hunter.
Why?
Because
I like Craven.
Yeah, but he's more straight villain.
Not really. He helped Spider-Man. When Spider-Man became Man-Spider, he helped him.
Yeah, in the... Not in what's well-known.
How do you know what's well-known? You don't read comics ever.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's not well-known.
It was on the animated series, too. He helped him.
A little bit, but not
Look, see? Look at the agony in his face there.
I think Morbius helped him more.
The reason this is in the headlines is because Craven has cast... it's Calypso, excuse me. Khaleesi, like I'm talking like it's Game of Thrones. Calypso is the lover of Craven the Hunter. It will be played by Ariana DeBose. She was in West Side Story here recently.
I thought you were talking about that. Is it the Morlocks?
The Morlocks?
Morlocks
from X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
What was their leader? The Callisto or something?
Callista, maybe. I can't remember. But anyway.
That's what I thought we were talking about. I'd probably watch a movie about that person before Craven.
Boy, you really got something against Craven, don't you?
Dude, look at what the word Craven means.
I know what Craven means. Well, that's why it's so menacing.
That's not what it means.
What does it mean?
Look it up.
I don't want to look it up. I want you to tell me.
It means coward.
We're in the middle of a podcast.
Cowardly.
That's horse shit. You made that shit up. I don't believe that for a minute. Have you been following Jordan Peele's new movie, Christian?
I saw the trailer for it, yeah.
Trailer looked nuts. I assume aliens, is that what we're thinking?
You never know what. You never know what to think with Jordan Peele.
Could be people underground.
But yeah, there's a...
Rising.
Either that or it's, a lot of people flying around. Maybe it's people at the ESP just blowing people away with their mind powers.
Big old horse, yeah. There's a new poster that dropped. Of course, the movie drops in July.
Did you hear about the sequel?
To what?
Nope.
There's a sequel already?
Yeah, it's called Yep.
That's great. Good for you, dude. Well done. Oh, Lord. Anyway.
It's called Yep, that's all right.
Nope.
I like Nope, though. Nope's a good title.
Nope's a great title. I really liked it because of the memes and stuff. I think it would be very funny.
I want to see people walk out of the theater. Just walk out going, nope before it even finishes. I can't finish that movie. Nope.
Nope. Next headline, Secret Invasion is getting ready to roll at Disney+. For those that don't know, Secret Invasion is a storyline from the comics in which the Skrull and the Kree are fighting a secret war on Earth.
So
Eventually.
That's just going to be a series on the show?
That's my understanding, yes. It's going to be a series on Disney+. We have seen information that indicates that Don Cheadle will reprise his role of Rhodey and War Machine.
That seems kind of weird to be on a series.
What?
The whole
War Machine?
No, Skrull stuff.
I mean, it's so massive that you can't really.
Is it building up to a big movie?
I think it's probably building up to an element of a big movie, is my guess. I would say probably Captain Marvel 2, if I had to guess. But anyway, there's a paper that is on the set that shows Don Cheadle speaking with someone who I guess is playing the president. So you know that he's going to be in it. Don't know much about this, the TV show that is.
It's got President Ritson.
Right. I know that.
Instead of the newspaper clip.
They got Sam Jackson, they got Kobe Smulders, and they got that Ben Mendelsohn guy who's like the nerdy computer guy. I'm just looking at the cast here. Characters played by Ben Kingsley is... I don't know what the hell that says. Do you know what that says?
Christopher McDonald.
Yeah, Christopher McDonald and Emilia Clarke is going to be in it.
Is that Khaleesi?
Mm-hmm. So that'll be interesting. It's a great storyline. Hopefully they don't screw it up because it's really good. But we look for Rhodey in that. Do you know who Finn Wolfhard is, Christian?
Yeah, I've seen Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things. He's also in the new Ghostbusters. He was in It.
He's an episode of Supernatural, too.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Which episode?
I can't remember.
What was the monster? Is it early on or later?
It's kind of in the middle.
Okay.
Like he's like the survivor and leaves.
Well, the guy's got a great agent because he's now joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and there's already been debate over which character he'll be playing. I've heard different things. I've heard Nightcrawler.
Yeah, I saw you talking about that on the Facebook
Did you see
page.
the comments section? My boy D. Chapman thinks he's going to be Nightcrawler. I thought that
I'd love to see Nightcrawler.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, he'd be great Nightcrawler, but I was thinking like Nova is what I was thinking.
Even that one from the movie, I enjoyed Nightcrawler.
Yeah, I thought they've always done Nightcrawler pretty good.
He's kind of young, though.
Well, I mean, they were trying to get that whole student thing going.
Maybe he needs to be more German, too.
So, could be. We don't know what it is.
I like the German Kurt Wagner.
Kurt Wagner.
He would love to play a guy on computer in the background, he says.
I know there were rumors of him playing a young Loki. Yeah, here it is.
He should play a young Logan.
Young Logan. I don't know if that would work. So who knows? It's going to be interesting to see what role he has. He's a really great actor, and he's been in all kinds of stuff. And especially coming off the success of Ghostbusters, I think it's going to be a good year for Finn.
I'm ready for Stranger Things to get back.
It's coming. Did you see that little... Well, I guess we talked about that before, didn't we?
Well, they got the posters out that shows there's like 4 different storylines. And
oh, really?
It's going to be 2 volumes.
2 volumes?
Yeah, this new season. But they're not sure, like, how many episodes each volume is going to be.
Right.
Like, is it going to be broken up in half, or is it just going to be a few here and then the rest all?
That's hard to say. Anyway, all the best to Finn. Hopefully he gets a good role and goes on to make other movies.
I wonder if that's his real name. Or
Finn Wolfhard?
Stage name, yeah.
Probably is his real name.
That's
pretty unique.
It's a good name.
So, yeah, you can do a lot with that name. Well, moving from a new up-and-comer to the MCU to one that is no stranger, it is Mr. Chris Helmsworth, and he is in the news this week because he has been selected to play the villain in the Furiosa film, which is the prequel to Mad Max Fury Road.
I hope that comes out sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I don't know about this one.
It says right there, nearly 2 decades long developmental phase.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is George Miller.
Yeah.
He's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I really want to read that book. There's a book called Blood, Sweat, and Chrome, The Wild and True Story of Mad Max Fury Road. I'll bet that shit is engaging as hell. So, but anyway, Chris Helmsworth has joined that cast along with Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron's character, and Anya Taylor-Joy is actually going to be playing the new Furiosa.
I'm not a big fan of her.
You don't like her?
She's okay.
I liked her in The Witch.
I don't like that movie. I don't like anybody in that movie.
Why don't you like The Witch?
She's boring.
Really?
Yes.
I love The Witch.
Nothing happens.
You're not very. You like action. So anyway, we'll see what happens with Chris.
Scares. I like horror.
Well, I mean,
it's offsetting.
You could easily say that Get Out or Us wasn't horror in that.
I didn't see those yet.
Well, that's your dumb ass fault.
I watched some of them, but I
feel bad about that.
I watched The Whole Witch and went, "That's it.
That's it.
That's it."
So the Batman is out again. That's our main topic today. We're going to be talking about the film, but some more Batman news. Matt Reeves, the director of the new film, hints that one of the upcoming spinoff series. Too? Yes, he wrote it as well. Spinoff series are coming to HBO Max. Now I know that one of them is going to be directed to the Penguin.
It's kind of getting to be a thing with them.
Yeah, I think they're trying to build
Suicide Squad and Peacemaker.
Right.
This one.
Well, HBO owns DC now.
Oh, sure.
So
I'm just saying.
There's a lot of
taking their movies and saying, "Hey, we're going to add to the movie."
That's exactly right. So anyway, we'll see Penguin, who was great in the film. Again, we'll talk about it. But now we might see something that relates to Arkham Asylum. Now, the Arkham family is mentioned in the film in a pretty critical scene. So that could be a nod toward what they're trying to do with this show. And
I've been hearing more about Belle Reeve from watching Suicide Squad and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's good to see some Arkham get some love.
Arkham's going to get some love. Arkham Asylum is, of course, the iconic mental hospital where all the rogues of Gotham City are kept when they're not terrorizing the city.
Those are some good games, too, I heard.
Arkham games are incredible. And, I loved Colin Farrell and what he brought to that film. I think it's going to be great, especially if he signs on to do it. I don't know. Does it say he signed on to do it?
I don't know. You need to go back down a little bit. It was in the next paragraph.
This one?
No, down one more.
This one?
There you go.
Okay. Everyone's saying you're going to have Waddle. Okay, so I don't. It doesn't really say.
That's just the character.
Yeah, it's just a character. So anyway, that'll be cool.
Wait, he says we're doing the Penguin series.
Where you see that?
We're doing the Penguin series. Oh, you
Matt
can't
Reeves.
see what I'm pointing at.
That's Matt Reeves.
So you don't. Well, why would he say he's doing it if they're not having Colin Farrell do it?
I mean, you don't have to have Colin Farrell. The Penguin is a character.
I'm sure.
Next up, Brendan Fraser's back in the news. He's got his Firefly outfit on for Batgirl. Did you see this, Christian? I sent you the link for it.
Yeah, I didn't know what any of that was.
That's Firefly. You don't know who Firefly is?
No, I thought it was that Joss Whedon show with the space western.
That is called Firefly. That is true. No, this is a villain, kind of an obscure villain from Batman's Rogue, but I guess they're going to give him to Batgirl.
That kind of looks like how I think the Riddler looks.
A little. Again, we'll talk about that. But anyway, it looks really cool. It looks really faithful to the comics. Kind of almost an insect-looking mask that he's got on.
Is this another HBO Max show?
No, this is a movie.
Batgirl's a movie.
Batgirl's going to be made into a film.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But anyway, he looks really good. So Leslie Grace is going to be playing Batgirl.
He's going to be the main villain, you think?
He is the main villain.
I gotcha.
So Firefly's pretty great. He can fly. There's a picture of him from the game. Just to give you an idea of what he looked like in other stuff. But
looks like one of those jetpack monsters.
He's like a firebug. He's like a firebug.
It looks like a monster from Doom, dude, with the jetpacks.
I tell you, it really does, doesn't it? All right. So anyway, can't wait to see Batgirl. I don't know if they have a date on that yet or not. Probably next year, if I had to guess.
I didn't see one when I was scanning through.
Yeah, I didn't either. Oh, December 2022. So,
Bit.
it says it hasn't been set, but they're saying they're going to
We'd
try
like
and get
to
it.
see it.
So that probably means spring of next year is probably what that means. Will Smith in comic news. I didn't even know this was going on, that they were talking about this, but apparently Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan are going to be in an I Am Legend sequel.
Yeah, it's funny. The first comment I saw about this story was like, "Didn't he die?"
That's what I thought.
That's what they said, but there's a different ending, an alternate.
There is a
ending.
different. I've heard about this online. I haven't seen it.
Well, it's all based on a book too. Apparently,
Yes.
from like a book from the 40s or 50s.
Well, it was a graphic novel, I think.
Well, I don't know. It said a book.
I think it was a graphic novel.
I'm sure a graphic novel counts as a book. I don't know if it's like
I don't
a
know.
piece of literature.
Okay, I'll give you that. But
It
anyway,
says novel right there.
okay, then you're right. My bad. So I loved I Am Legend. I would have liked to have seen a sequel.
Well, the guy I was reading, they said that the book is more like the human is the bad guy,
The Human,
and the monsters kind of have more of like they're actually like
sympathetic.
they communicate and have a society, and he steals them and like experiments on them. You know, of course, I mean he's doing it good for him, but
Right, he's trying to cure,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you know he's
So it's like, yeah, who's the real monster?
who is the real monster? It's a great question.
It's Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Clark, he's dead.
Johnny B. Good.
This is interesting. Smith and Jordan have never worked together before, so that kind of surprised me. The original screenwriter Akiva Goldsman is coming back to write the screenplay of the sequel.
That movie, there was one bad part in that movie.
Which the dog?
Yeah.
Everybody talked. Everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah. We didn't need
Remember
that.
Wes? He wouldn't even watch it. He watched it once, and then he said never watched it again. And as far as I know, he's kept that promise.
Good shout out to Wes and his compassion for animals.
Wes cannot stand any animal to be harmed in any film in any way, or he'll boycott it. It's pretty.
We had to turn off the TV when that show was on that showed animal abuse.
Laughing at animal abuse.
No, it's because Wes was turned into the Punisher.
Wes would turn. That's a good way to put it. He would be like, "I'm going to kill whoever hurts this dog. I'm going to kill them." Oh God!
And they deserve to burn in hell.
I got to get Wes in here, get him part of it again.
Yeah, I remember listening to some of his casts he did with you.
Anyway, there's no director for this sequel, and it's very early on. But I would definitely love to see a sequel to I Am Legend. I'd watch it. Wouldn't you?
Maybe. I don't know. I can't think of the last Will Smith thing I watched.
Boy, what did I watch of his? Probably Suicide Squad. I think that was the last thing I watched of his.
He was Serena and Venus's dad. I was going to say he played their mom.
It sounded like you were getting ready to say he played the villain. He played the villain in Venus and Serena Williams.
Yeah, dude. He's like,
biopic.
Get back on that court.
Hit that ball. Oh, Will. It seems like Will's had bad luck over the last few years.
They got
seem
that.
like that way to you?
Well, it seems like he just doesn't care. He's like, I've done my acting on.
Yeah, he's like, I've been in,
They got a new Bel Air. Did you know that?
Fresh Prince.
Yeah. Well, it's like a remake.
That looks terrible. Yes, I have seen trailers. Isn't it like dramatic now? It's not even a comedy anymore?
It sounds ridiculous, dude.
What is wrong with people? I swear to God. Anyway, moving on. Wes Ball's Planet of the Apes movie.
Speaking of Wes Balls.
Speaking of Wes's balls. Of course, Matt Reeves has been doing the Planet of the Apes movies for a while, but of course now he's busy as hell with everything else. So.
I didn't know they were still going to make more of these.
Well, they left it open. They left the last one open. And, I mean, it's all leading up to Planet of the Apes, which they haven't gotten to yet in these movies. So I assume they keep going until they catch up with, the Planet of the Apes film.
They should have the apes go into space.
Why?
Why not? Conquer the other planets. That's what you got to keep going.
Oh, God. Anyway, Planet of the Apes was one of the acquisitions that Disney got when they bought 20th Century Studios a couple years ago. So they've probably been sitting around. And
I like how some of this stuff Disney's like, we just own some stuff we don't even care about.
Yeah, exactly. It's so much stuff. It's pretty sad when you have so many blockbuster properties that's just sitting on the shelf waiting for when you need them.
And then other stuff gets left behind, too.
Very true. Anyway, we may see filming start on that this year. It'd be cool. I love those movies. I love Andy Serkis' performance as Caesar. He's been in every one of them, I think, right?
I think so.
He's played Caesar in every one of them. So I didn't mind the Planet of the Apes movie with Wahlberg. Did you see that one?
That was Tim Burton, right?
Yes, that was Tim Burton. Yes, I didn't mind it. So
it was different.
And I loved Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I thought that was just incredible story with that property. So
the whole trilogy was really good.
So good. I own one of them. I think I own The War. Is it the last one? The War with Woody Harrelson?
I think so.
I think that's the last. That's the one I bought. But great movies. Hopefully they'll start production, and can't wait to see that. It's going to be really good.
It's just an epic scene when the monkey talks for the first time.
It is such an epic scene. Yeah, you're right. I had this note on our prep sheet, but I didn't have a link for it. Did you see who's going to be inducting Undertaker into the Hall of Fame?
No, I didn't know that.
It's none other than the chairman, Mr. Vince McMahon. I was kind of surprised at that. I thought it'd be somebody else.
Who else could do it?
Kane? Why would you not have Kane do it? For God's sakes, Brothers of Destruction.
He'll probably be out there.
Emotional.
It'll be Vince and Kane.
Glenn, Glenn gets all emotional. I love how he's the mayor.
He's probably too busy mayor.
I love how he's the mayor now. That's so funny to me. I want to live in that town.
Well, you should look at his tweets, dude. He's your typical.
Really?
He's the same old. Let's go, Brandon.
Really?
Right wing.
Yeah. Well,
that's what
can't
they do.
win them all. So, did you ever end up watching the Cowboy Bebop
I don't
show?
even want to talk about this on your thing.
I knew this would be a sour subject with you because you're such a Cowboy Bebop fan. You're a huge fan of the animated.
I watched the first few episodes, but just
I wasn't feeling it.
Hard to get into. I like the stylish and everything.
Yeah, the style was great, and I thought John Cho did a great job.
Yeah.
But, it didn't feel like it was the right time.
It wasn't very entertaining, though. I mean, just...
That, too. There was a lot of course, I felt that way about the anime series, too. So,
well, at least that had arts.
It had art and music, which I know that did. But John Cho...
And usually by that point, you've already kind of hooked in when you're...
Absolutely, yeah. But Cho just, he doesn't seem bitter, but it definitely seems like it came out of nowhere and it really hurt him.
Well, apparently, if you look at the Netflix numbers, it's real bad.
Really? Well, they didn't really promote it very well.
Well, they spent a lot of money making it, too, I think.
Well, I guess when you do that and you got no money to promote it, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, there's that other Mark Millar Netflix property that they made and spent a bunch of money on and then canceled after the first season was out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Was that like Jupiter's Legacy or something?
Jupiter Ascending? Was that what that was?
No, I think that's the movie with Channing Tatum.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Jupiter Ascending. So, you said... My microphone just came out of the damn thing.
I think it's called Jupiter's Legacy.
Jupiter's Legacy. And you say it had Channing Tatum in it?
No, your one did. Jupiter's Ascending did. I was talking about a Netflix one. You're talking about a movie. I was talking about a Netflix series about superheroes that got canceled.
There you go.
They spent millions on it.
There you go. I got nothing. Anyway, it's sad. Cowboy Bebop's a great property, but I knew it would be hard to translate onto like a real life type show. So, all our best to John. I'm sure he'll find great work, and I'm sure that it'll be great. And we'll just have to watch. I need to go through and watch the whole thing. I definitely quit after a while watching it. So, all right, let's get on to our main topic. I have seen Matt Reeves' The Batman. I'm assuming you have not.
No, it just came out. I'm thinking about seeing it.
I've seen it twice already. What do you think about that?
You should have given me a call.
You don't do anything. So.
Well, I still could have called, and I could have said, I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm. So,
how was it?
I'm going to tell you, but I want to stress first, there will be some spoilers.
There are? Okay.
So,
I wasn't sure how you're going to do
Well, I have to if I'm going to review it. It was great. I mean, it really nailed what I thought the representation of Batman should be. He was a detective, very dark, almost a really interesting wit. The music was incredible. Robert Pattinson did okay. I mean, he didn't knock it out of the park like Bale did, I don't think. But, I mean, he definitely was a good Batman. And I definitely see him carrying a franchise for sure.
But you're not going to go back and watch Twilight movies?
No, I won't go back and watch Twilight movies ever for any reason whatsoever.
Maybe if he had blown it out like Bale?
If he'd blown it up, yeah, it would have been way more entertaining. But he didn't. So we have this.
I heard the writing's kind of funny, too. Like, not like
in the Batman?
Yeah, not like intentionally funny, but like you're saying, witty dialogue.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of that kind of, a situation is so dark that little quirks make it kind of lighthearted, and there's definitely some of that in there. Zoey Kravitz, who I think is gorgeous, did a great job as Catwoman. Her scenes, I would have liked to have seen a few more of her scenes. But, overall...
Is she a villain or a...
She's an anti-hero.
Okay.
So, kind of not a villain, but not a hero.
More in the gray.
In the gray area, exactly. The plot was really good. The only beef I had against it, and a lot of people had it apparently, was the length. It was so long. I remember walking out of the theater last night when I took Sam to see it, and there's people in the hallway going, God, that was so long. I've about lost it in the middle.
Do you think you could have cut it down some, or do you think it was needed to be that
long? There were a few scenes that you could have cut off. I mean, if you would have just shaved half an hour off of it.
Make a big difference.
Made a big difference. It was that last act that just drug, and it had to drag.
Really?
I mean, so
see, I heard the last part kind of paid off though.
It was a payoff for sure, absolutely. I'm saying as the scene continued, it could have wrapped up number of different places, but it didn't.
That sounds like Lord of the Rings extended edition.
Right. So I mean, it's one of those things where you felt like you were watching a director's cut, exactly. And it was like this information and this content is great, but I got to get home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's 2 hours, 56 minutes, bro. It's right on the 3 hour mark. There is no Easter egg. There is no end credit scene. I'll go ahead and save you the time.
Good deal.
There is one thing at the very end of the credits. All it is green text that comes up and says goodbye with a question mark after it.
What's that mean?
I don't know.
Green Lantern?
I don't think it's Green Lantern.
Be nice.
No, it would be nice, but it's not. There is a supposed cameo by the Joker, or someone who appears to be the Joker. He's in the cell with Paul Dano's Riddler.
As in, like, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker?
No, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is not in this film, which I was bummed out about. But we've kind of talked about that before. The age isn't right. Sure. I didn't expect him to be in there. If he wasn't there, I would have freaked out. But it definitely indicates that they're going to continue the story. So, I mean, and hell, with the Batman movie, if you don't have some kind of reference to the Joker, I feel like it just won't succeed. He's just tied together with Batman so much that even if you have a great villain like Paul Dano's Riddler, you got to have the Joker in there.
So is he kind of the main villain, or is it the Penguin and him double billing, or who would you say is the mastermind?
It's definitely the Riddler.
Okay.
But then you have that mob element in all the Batman movies with Carmine Falcone and all that,
Sure. I'm not familiar with the plot of this new one.
So the plot of the new one is he's been Batman for 2 years. So he's into it. The cops know about him. He's working with Gordon. He's got the signal. But a lot of his methods are still new. Like, for example, there's a scene where he has to jump off a roof and glide through the city to get away from the police, right? So rather than having his cape with electric current and shit like that Batman Begins, which I loved, don't get me wrong, they gave him one of those flying squirrel suits. He pushes a button and his suit becomes one of those flight suits. So it's reality. It's a lot more based in some weird form of crazy reality.
He's still kind of, like you said, learning the ropes.
Exactly. And, I mean, he's hard landing and the whole deal. So, I mean, they're trying to build, and that's what they should be doing. It shouldn't have been something, and again, that's why I worry about the runtime.
So then what happens? The Riddler starts causing trouble?
The Riddler, is killing prominent members of the city's community. The mayor, he kills the commissioner, at that time not Gordon. And then he starts killing people. And then, without giving too much away, the Waynes get involved in the storyline. That's when I mentioned earlier in this episode, we hear about the Arkhams as prominent families in Gotham that are protecting a secret that goes against everything Batman stands for. And that's the conflict, right? Is him wondering if what he's doing is making a difference or if he's just part of the problem and nothing will ever change. I'm not going to say what the resolution of that is because I want people to see it and watch it and like it. But that's kind of where I thought the plot was going to go. The cast was incredible. I cannot say enough about the cast.
Yeah.
The supporting cast, Pattinson.
I don't know who Paul Dano is.
Okay, so Paul Dano, he was in Little Miss Sunshine.
I looked up his IMDb and I was like, I don't know any of this stuff.
He looks like the Riddler. I mean, he's such a dorky-looking, dweepy-looking dude. And there is one scene, and I told you this when you came here, that's going to crack you up in that movie. I mean, he has a scene where he kind of goes nuts and starts screaming all these weird screams, and it's pretty funny. I mean, you're laughing now thinking about it. But he did a great job. I thought Paul Dano did a great job as the Riddler, and I hope... what I love is they didn't kill him. Usually they end up killing the villains, so and then
the Penguin.
The Penguin was great.
The unrecognizable Colin Farrell.
He was totally unrecognizable. He was still unrecognizable even in the movie. There were only a couple scenes where I could kind of hear his voice, and I kind of went, "Oh yeah, it's Colin Farrell."
Yeah, it's like that's the only way you've known is.
They totally, yeah, and I mean, I bought him so well. He was the Iceberg Lounge is in the movie. He runs the Iceberg Lounge. So good, and a couple funny moments too. I mean, Colin Farrell is goofy, so good. Batmobile was on point. Alfred was on point.
Have you ever watched
just a fun movie?
Alfred's show?
Pennyworth? Yeah. No, I haven't. Have you watched it?
No, just.
I don't know. I don't know. I love Alfred, but I don't know if I want to devote a whole TV series to him.
Sure. I was just wondering if you'd seen it.
But I've heard good things about it, so I don't know.
Worth checking out sometime.
Are you going to go see it?
Batman? Yeah, I think so.
You go see it?
My brothers are talking about seeing it.
All right, good. Well, my recommendation to you is to go see it no matter what you think of what I say or what anybody else says and make your own damn opinion. That's
Try
always,
it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's always my opinion. Now, what does this mean for the DCU moving forward? I will say this, too. At the beginning of the movie, during the trailers, I've got the hiccups. It's the worst. I can't stop hiccuping.
He's going to throw up over there. He's going to start dry heaving like D.
Like D on stage.
Sweet D from Always Sunny.
Oh, okay. I think I'll be all right. I don't even...
Okay, you're saying the previews.
Oh, okay. So before the trailers, there's like this little, it's a DCU sizzle reel.
Oh, okay.
That shows what's coming up this year.
That's
and
cool.
There's
had some Black Adam stuff.
Had some Black Adam stuff, had some Flash stuff. I saw Dr. Fate in full costume, and I saw Atom Smasher. Do you know who Atom Smasher?
Atom Smasher, but I like Dr. Fate.
Atom Smasher is imagine Giant Man in Marvel. Ant-Man is Giant Man. That's Atom Smasher. He's the guy that grows. So I saw him. I can only assume he's in Black Adam. I don't know. But the sizzle reel was really cool. I liked watching that. And then there was a trailer for that new Brad Pitt movie. Have you seen this, The Bullet Train?
I saw it on that website you were looking at earlier.
It looks wild. I mean, it just looks like a fun, wild, kind of like Crank, just a fun, wild, weird adventure show. So, but yeah, the Batman, I can't recommend it enough. Definitely the best one since Dark Knight,
You think it's going to win any awards or anything?
Maybe for aesthetic stuff. Yeah, costumes or settings.
Like that,
I thought the music was great. Yeah, I mean, it could. I mean, I don't think it's going to win like a Best Actor or a fucking Best Picture.
We'll give it an award.
I'll give it an award. If Matt Reeves wants to come and collect it, I will give him an award for it because that's how much faith I have in this incarnation. No, I've told you this, dude. It's what I've been wanting. It's a Batman. There's no mention.
And it focuses on Batman.
Focuses on Batman, and there's no mention of the origin. Yeah. There's no mention of it. Because everybody knows what the origin is.
I don't know. That one guy came out of the movie going, I don't understand. Why is he dressed
like a bat?
Why is he
dressed like a bat? Why does he do this? No one's asking that question. No one's saying that.
What happened to his parents?
Oh, my God. Again, it's just one of those things
where... Somebody didn't raise that boy.
I mean, yeah, it's like... And they do touch on some of that with Alfred, but it's like...
Yeah, it's not...
But anyway, so yeah, that's what I loved about it is like... The first dialogue that you hear in the film is him reading his war journal. Like, October 21st, we did this. And
so it's kind of straight to business?
Straight to business. There's no wasting time. There's no funerals. There's no, training montages. He's in. He's already doing it. He goes patrolling that night. Okay. So it was really good. A really great, honest... interpretation of him. They dumbed down some of the tech that he uses. It wasn't all crazy and wild like
any batarangs?
There is one batarang, and it comes off his chest logo. It's the logo.
Batarangs are always cool.
The logo on his chest is a batarang. Yeah, there's explosives. He uses explosives. He's got a great grappling system. It's like a hidden gun that comes out of his arm that shoots the wire up into the ceiling, and he rises that way. Cool. So, yeah, there's all kinds of cool parts if you're a Batman fan. But it was a great film, and that was the important part, that it not only be a good Batman movie, but that it be a good movie.
Yeah,
and
whole total package.
Exactly, and that's what DC needed bad. And no, I didn't see any kind of ties to any other DC movies that are coming up soon. I did not. If it's in there, I missed it.
Besides the sizzle reel, I mean...
The sizzle reel kind of, I mean...
That's all you need.
What I'm saying is it was a movie very much like Joker. It really didn't reference...
Stand alone.
Yeah, exactly. So to say that he might be part of the DCU moving forward with the Batman character, I don't know about that. I think Batgirl is going to be the focus of that incarnation of the DCU.
Yeah, it's hard keeping up with that DCU.
It's hard. It's hard any time to keep up with any of these properties, especially now that they're getting so huge and so massive. I have no doubt that it's going to do an amazing box office. I have no doubt that it will most likely spawn some kind of sequel. And I look forward to seeing it. Sam, what did you think of Batman? Sam is my 12-year-old son, so let's see what the kids think of Batman. What did you think?
I thought it was good.
Yeah?
I liked at the ending how he was leading all the people out of the Gotham Circle.
He makes a great point. There's a lot of great scenes where he kind of accepts the mantle of the protector of Gotham, where it's not so much about vengeance, it's now about justice. So that's a great journey. A little long, wasn't it, Bub?
Yeah, it was about 3.5 hours.
Well, it was 3 hours, but that's close
That's what
enough.
it felt like.
Felt like 3.5 hours for sure.
My favorite part probably was when he had to take the batarang and throw it to get rid of the electrical box.
Yeah, there's a scene where he's trying to save people and he has to cut a wire so they don't get shocked, and he uses his chest batarang to do so. So it's a great film. Go see it. I mean, that's all I can tell you more about it, is that it exceeded my expectations, and that's rare.
Yeah, doesn't happen often.
So if I'm telling you that,
especially when it's Batman expectations.
I mean, Batman expectations are very high for me. I mean, I do not screw around when it comes to Batman. I have a lot of wiggle room with the other properties, with the other heroes, but not with Batman. Because that character doesn't need any of that.
Well, plus you own a full-size Batman costume, and
I don't have it anymore.
I'm just saying, if you own a full-size Batman costume, he's got to represent.
Exactly right. So
The Dark Knight Zip.
Yeah, Dark Knight Zip. That's my gamer tag. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the show. I think I've spoiled enough of the new Batman movie.
Say subscribe to the GeekZip.
My son's reminding me that we are now on YouTube, so make sure you watch our shows and subscribe there. We can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Facebook Music, Internet's webs. So lots of places to find us. Thank you for joining us for our second episode of the season. For Christian and Sammy Z, this is Ryan Zip saying thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to the GeekZip podcast. Follow us on Facebook at GeekZip with 2 Ps.